Hey guys, good to see you right back here at the general store again. Y'all are spending a lot of time in here, aren't you?
We do. It's a good place to get together.
It is. Chew the fat. It's, as they say in the country. I guess if somebody in New York City is watching that, they don't know what that term means, but get together and chew the fat.
Exactly.
Down here, yeah. It's what's a good word today?
Well, you always have good timing, Tim, because when you come here, we're talking about a Bible verse, and it just happens, here we are, Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthened me.
Now that's a good one. That's a good one. If you stand on that one, you can get through anything. And the thing I find out about verses like that, they're very good. Sometimes people expect them to work real quick, and sometimes, God works in his own time frame. So, it don't happen right now, but I've always said a lot of my emails, and used to be every piece of mail I sent out said, God will work with you, not for you. Mm-hmm. So, you can do all things through God who strengthens you, but you got to get up and get going. You got to make the first move.
You got to make that first move. You just got to understand all things through Christ will strengthen me. It's about strengthening. It's not about, like you said, it's not about lifting the hand for you.
Yeah.
He's not giving you stuff.
Exactly.
But he will give you that power to do it for yourself.
Yeah, I had one lady, I said that at the end of one of the shows I did, and she come down and said, you're wrong. My God works for me. And I said, well, ma'am, here's the way I feel about it. Here's what my point is. If you're sitting in a house and you look around and all four walls catch on fire, are you going to sit there and pray to get out of there, or are you going to get up and run first and then pray to get out of there? So, you make the first step. You make the first step, and then he'll join in with you. But if you sit there and pray and don't put your effort in to get out of that raging fire, you're in trouble.
And I tell you what this verse says to me is that you just gotta live your life right. You gotta have your mind in the right place, and it starts with Christ. And if you have your mind in that right place, He will strengthen you. But you got to start in that right spot.
Yeah, absolutely, He is our strength. There ain't no doubt about that. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for joining us right here on God and Country Music. And as I've said before, we're going to do a few songs here, and we do all positive country, and we bring a little light to the Lord and Jesus Christ and uplift His name, and we just sit around, as I told you at first, chew the fat and have a very good time. We love country music here, and we love traditional country music, so trying to bring it back, and we, in future episodes we might have a little surprise for you, but we ain't put it together right yet. But anyway, we'll let you know as that goes on. But we just love good old traditional country music.
And speaking of which, I think we've got some of it playing right here. I'm going to turn this volume up, and let's appreciate some of this stuff.
Well, I think any country music fan would know that's Hank Williams Sr.
That's it.
Good old Hank Sr.
He can't be beat, like Gary was talking a while ago. Oh, as a matter of fact, I forgot we're with Gary Kirby and Chris Graham, but as Gary was saying a while ago, Hank Sr. was kind of an innovator. His music might sound a little outdated because of the electronics and everything back then, but, he didn't follow anybody's trail. He always cut one.
Yep. I'll tell you, today, if you talk to a lot of even rock and roll artists or anybody, they appreciate the innovation that Hank Williams Sr. brought to music. And a lot of them live by that. And even after people like Elvis, and you can see the influences that Hank Williams had.
To substantiate what you said, if you go to Wikipedia, and I didn't know this, he was inducted in 1987. And I don't know how many years. When did he
died
pass?
in 53.
53. So we're talking 87. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Wow.
So here's Hank Jr., cowboy hat, silky coat, the whole night, cowboy boots and everything from the 50s, late 40s and 50s, that's inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, I didn't know this either, but I was doing some research on him the other day for something I was writing up for a magazine that I was working for. And he was taught, of course, he taught himself music in one sense. He never learned how to read music, so that's partly why he's an innovator too, because he had to learn it the hard way. But also he was taught by a Blackstreet performer. So you think about 1930s, he's in Alabama, and he's learning from, so there's a melding of music there too. And we talked about his influence on development of rock and roll years later, but you can kind of see that, when he blended the mountain music together with some soul and some rhythm in a very unique way.
Yeah, a gentleman named Rufus Payne.
Yeah, Rufus Payne, yeah.
And just think, and how much has evolved. But music has brought people of color together with
Oh, absolutely.
with so many people.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's what's so great. Another thing that's so great about music.
Absolutely.
And back then.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
It's wonderful.
Back in the
Wonderful.
30s and 40s.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
the thing with him was when he first went to Nashville, they say he just had a notebook full of songs that he wrote. So he sat down to one of these Nashville producers and started singing this song. And then he flipped page, singing a song. And the guy, the guy told him, said, I have trouble believing that you wrote all them songs yourself. So he told him, he said, I'm going to leave this room, go get some lunch. I'm going to give you a topic. And I forget what the topic was, but I'm going to give you a topic. And when I come back in here, I want you to have a song written. And if I could be wrong on this, so I don't want to quote it, but I think when the guy come back, the producer come back from lunch, Hank Williams started singing, I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry. And that is one of the greatest songs in the history of country music. That's one of them songs that will be etched in history forever.
And the great shame of it is we only had 29 years of him on this earth.
Yeah,
You know, he was
yeah.
born with a childhood disability, actually spina bifida. You didn't, not that we even called it that back
now
then.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so he had back problems from the time he was just a little kid.
I didn't know that.
And so we know that he died from, you know, he had alcoholism, some issues with that, but the painkillers and everything else. Well, because he was in pain the whole time. And so, but you know, that said, the pain kind of came out in his music. He really used that too, in addition to how he taught himself and how he learned to blend the musics together. But it's so sad. We only had him for 29 years, and in that short lifetime, he started performing when he was 14 years old. So in that period of time, 14 plus years, 35 top 10 hits, 11 number ones. And just think what we'd have had if it's not for his short lifespan.
Right. Did you ever see the video that Hank, with modern day electronics, that Hank Jr. got to do with his dad? And they done an actual.
I remember clips.
And I
of
forget
it.
what the name of that was.
I do too, but
Um,
the way they put those two together was haunting almost. To be
And you know, Hank Jr. reminds you of this great big muscular brute, you know. And when he saw it the first time, he just, you know, he broke down. He got all misty-eyed, and you'd almost have to. But he said that Hank Jr. said that's one thing that he always wanted to do is perform with his dad. And modern day electronics, he got to do it.
Yeah, that's just one of those things about country music. We've been able to have so many people around for so long and enjoy them for so long, and it's hard to imagine. He's been off this earth over 60 years and still has the influence. That he has.
Still has the influence of music that he does.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, go ahead.
No, I just recently bought a double CD of Hank Williams' original songs, and you know it's one of my favorite sets. It really is. I love that style of music.
Well, you know the thing, me being a writer, the thing I appreciate about him is his songs don't go deep. They don't go deep. I mean, they're not these great, big, powerful story songs. But once he's into about 2 lines of a song, it just tags you right in the heart. You know what he's talking about. You know what he's feeling. You know what he's feeling. So,
Very important.
but anyway, there's a young lady who's done etched her way into America's heart named Maggie May, and she's up in Oxford, Wisconsin, and she's getting ready to start her barn dance. So, Maggie, why don't you take a minute and you and Roger say hello to the people and get their shoes to kicking.
That's another great show from Maggie May.
Yes, sir.
Every time we hear one of those barn dance shows, it just blows me away.
Yep, wonderful, wonderful. But I'll tell you, Tim does a good show too. He's up the cabin. He's going to be heading up that way now.
We ought to get out there and see what he's got
We
going
need to-
on over
we
there.
need
Jack.
to.
As all of you know, and I've told you before, I write all of my own songs, so every song you hear me sing, other than how great they are, I write them. I write my songs. And this song has a meaning to it because a friend of mine, or a couple of friends of mine that lived next door, said that they was probably going to get a divorce and that they were separating. And 3 or 4 weeks later, nothing had happened. And I was talking to him about it a little bit, and he said, you know what? He said, we knew if we separated and there was something left, it would probably ruin it. So we stayed together another 2 or 3 months just to make sure that everything that we had was really gone. So he said they tested the water like that, and it tended to work. Also, I had one DJ tell me that when he played this song, that he got more requests for this song than any other song he had ever had. Hope you like my version of the song entitled Lay With Me.
Lay tell you that I love you. Lay with me. You'll hear what you need to hear. One more time. Let me hold you in my arms again. Lay with me, and we'll lay this thing to rest. I know you're wondering if I still love you. I know you're wondering if I still care. Could I hold you? Would you let me? We need to know if we let go that love's not there. Lay with me. Let me tell you that I love you. Lay with me. You'll hear what you need to hear. One more time. Let me hold you in my arms again. Lay with me, and we'll lay this thing to rest. God above knows how I love you. If I could only make you see. Let my eyes look through the window of your soul. Let me feel your every need. Lay with me. Let me tell you that I love you. Lay with me. You'll hear what you need to hear. One more time. Let me hold you in my arms again. Lay with me, and we'll lay this thing to rest. Lay with me, and we'll lay this thing to rest.
Thank you so much. We're going to end it with a gospel song that I wrote, and everybody's heard the expression that life goes on. And thinking about a kid and his dad, you know, when he's growing up, and his dad had some very good words of wisdom for him, but in the end, it was the real father that told him that life goes on. Listen to this.
I was only 16, barely old enough to drive, when I wrecked my daddy's car on a Sunday evening ride. When I pulled in the driveway, my daddy shook his head. He looked at me with loving eyes, and this is what he said. Life goes on, it don't stop here. It's hard to see through all those tears. Let me make you a promise from a father to a son. Life don't stop here, young man, it's only just begun. In my 22nd year of life and married not too long, she said it wasn't working and our marriage had went wrong. Again I turned to Daddy with the wisdom that he had. He held me tight and wept with me, and this is what he said. Life goes on, it don't stop here. It's hard to see through all those tears. let me make you a promise from a father to a son. Life don't stop here, young man, it's only just begun. I was barely in my 30s when Daddy passed away, and I watched his people gathered round to pay respect and pray. An empty feeling burned inside, and it seemed it was the end. But a ray of light shined through the clouds, and I heard these words again. Life goes on, it don't stop here. It's hard to see through all those tears, but the Father made us a promise, and He gave it through His Son. Life don't stop here, young man, it's only just begun. But the Father made us a promise, and He gave it through His Son. Life don't stop here, young man, it's only just begun.
We'll see you right back over to the general store in a few minutes. All right, guys. All righty. Good show. Felt good. You had the sound set just right. People was getting into it.
Yep.
Hot dogs flying, and just everything was good. Everything was really good. Yeah, we had a good time. Love doing them style of songs. It's just good old country in my heart, that's for sure.
You almost made me get off my chair here. You know, we love this. We love the general store, but you know, you could just feel it coming through the seats here. Just
Well, like I said before, you know, as long as when you're an entertainer and you put out energy, if you receive energy back, you're even gonna give it more. You're even gonna give it more. But anyway, once again, coming down 254, getting back here to the general store, past a pile of Rio Hatfield's trucks. And if people don't know who he is, he's right here in our hometown, and he runs the largest logistic trucking company in the state of Virginia. And he delivers worldwide, don't he, Chris? Is that what?
He does. He's known all over the world. You know, we talk about how if you have air conditioning in your house, and you pretty much do at this point in world history, that he's probably, he might have been the guy that probably was the guy that delivered it to you.
I'm telling you, those trucks are just flying over the stable every time. Well, see, I live right off of 254, and anytime I take a right-hand turn or a left-hand turn, there's a Rio truck.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, I go to New York City for a basketball game here not too long ago. And just to tell you where Rio's known, I go all the way from here in Hermitage up to New York City for a basketball game, and who's there? Rio.
Yeah, I had him trucked up there. But anyway, we thank you for joining us right here at God and Country Music, and we hope that you've enjoyed the words we've shared with you. We hope that you've enjoyed the little bit of tidbits of information that we actually didn't know till we studied up on it about the stars that we've shared with you. And we certainly hope you liked the country music you heard. Maggie Mae's style and elegance is just fabulous. And of course, I write all of my own songs, and they come from the heart. So once again, thank you for joining us right here at God and Country Music. And you keep the Lord in your heart. Keep the coffee hot, and we'll see you right here again next week.
I guess we got to close it down. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yep. We'll draw the shades, turn out the lights, lock the door, and we're gone.